10,000 years of history has turned into layers and layers of fossils. And another life is embraced after this creation and destruction. Within it exists untamed nature at its most primitive state. The land of the wild, ruled by nature's provisions. This place is a fierce battlefield for survival. Humans are merely a part of nature. All living things depend on other lives to endure the harsh environments. A place where stories of nature are in the raw. This is Alaska. My journey in finding nature is so close, yet so far. A non-stop flight from Korea to Alaska only exists during the summer through chartered planes. Most people reach Anchorage, the gateway to Alaska, with a connection in other cities. My heart begins to flutter as the majestic mountains begin to appear as I get closer to Anchorage. Although it is my fourth time to Alaska, my heart is filled with excitement just from thinking about setting foot here again. First and foremost, I want to see Mother Nature in a single glance. Usually when people think of Alaska, they think of snow and permafrost. However, summer is when all life shows their respective colors. Halfway up the mountain, I find my own special spot to see the scenery.
정말 영원히 녹지 않을 것 같은 만년설이 하얗게 산 정상을 지키고 있네요. 저 아래로는 타이가지대와 같은 가뭄비 나무들이 끝없이 펼쳐져 있고요. 장엄한 풍경입니다.
Alaska means magnificent land in the local Native American language. Just like its name, Mother Nature embraces the world with her great splendor.
갑자기 저 만 쪽에서 몰려오는 이 안개가요, 이 거대한 산맥을 지금 감싸고 있는데요. 전혀 생각지 못한 상황이 펼쳐지고 있습니다. 지금 이 아름답던 이 빙하와 저 설산이 아마 이 안개에 가려질 것 같습니다.
In the blink of an eye, fog completely filled my surroundings. Is this what it feels like to float on clouds? As soon as the view disappears into the fog, this place changes into a fantasy. However, on the icy road, there's a woman who should be on a beach somewhere in the tropics.
What are you doing? You taking a picture of my toes? I can slide down it?
The newlywed bride came to Alaska for her honeymoon. Although the weather is unpredictable, she enjoys being out in nature.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
I have no fear of the ice, but I feel coldness. Are you videotaping?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were taking a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's great up here, don't you think? Thanks for saving me.
Yeah.
Seeing the nature of Alaska is something one would want to do at least once in a lifetime despite the cold weather. Now, let's go deeper into Alaska's landscape. The first destination of Matanuska is 3 hours away from Anchorage. Here lies the world's largest land glacier. What would it feel like to walk on a glacier in the middle of summer? I'm filled with expectation on the way there. Once the spruce forest ends, the Matanuska Glacier comes to view. Its length measures 45 kilometers.
You, Mike?
I'm Mike.
Hi.
Hi, good to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Yep, you too.
Hi there.
Yeah.
One of the glaciers comes this way, one comes out this way, and they kind of push together this medial moraine here in the middle, all this sediment and debris here in the middle. And it's pretty cool. That's actually the safest way to travel on the glacier if you want to go really far back, is to stay along this medial moraine. Is put them on just like a sock. They're called micro spikes. And so, when you put these on, you have a little metal bar in front, and you slip it over the front of your toe, and then pull it up on the back like this.
Yeah, quite easy.
Yeah, it's been ready to walk on the ice there.
Yeah, so right here we're actually on ancient ice. It's pretty cool.
The first thing we came across before climbing the glacier was the soil that flowed out of the glacier. Mike, the guide, searches for something as he hits the ground.
It's pretty cool stuff. And it's all just pieces of bedrock.
For face.
Yeah.
Your
so
face.
You want me to put some on my face?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Some people go like this. The glacier facial. Really good exfoliant for your skin.
It's essentially a glacial mud pack.
피부에 감촉이 좋습니다. 아주 부드럽습니다.
The sediment and glacial milk combine to create mud, and beneath it lies the half-melted glacier like a fossil of time. Finally, the glacial adventure begins. My heart starts to flutter already, just from standing before this magnificent sight. Passing the area of soil and walking onto the snow makes me feel like I'm finally walking on the glacier.
어때요, 빙하가?
지금 아이젠을 차고 올라왔는데요. 지금 이게 좀 빙하가 녹고 있지만 이 빙하를 걷는 느낌이 그 빠지직 소리가 나면서 경쾌한 소리가 들려서 걷는 느낌도 굉장히 기분이 좋습니다.
I'm just drinking some glacier water here. And as you can see, there's some meltwater that comes in these streams, and this meltwater is really good drinking water. Yeah.
굿. 아주 시원합니다.
The purest water on Earth flows between the work of art created by the sun and the wind. The glacier gets eroded by the glacial milk, which makes a new path. Next to the puddle of water is a deep crevasse.
Just very careful. You do not want to fall in there.
일상적으로 생각할 때는 한두 달 정도 걸려야 될 것 같은데 며칠 사이에 이렇게 거대한 크레바스가 생겼다고 합니다.
Crevasses are deep cracked glaciers created by the pressure of snow and ice. Many explorers lost their lives because of these huge crevasses.
저 밑으로 깊이가 한 30m 정도 되고요. 뭐 소리가 지금 굉장히 울리고 있습니다.
The translucent blue color is beautiful, but there is an unapproachable danger lurking inside.
빙하를 인정을 하네.
After climbing for about 30 minutes, we approach another dangerous part of the glacier.
And you know, I would probably want you to come back down here because it might be collapsing soon, and we'll probably be fine. But
오,
look at this.
와, beautiful.
Yeah.
이게 아마 한 일주일 안으로 붕괴되지 않을까 그런 위험한 상황의 어떤 그런 모양을 가지고 있습니다.
A barely hanging glacial cave is as dangerous as a crevasse. No one knows when it will fall, but it looks very beautiful.
그냥 이 자체로 그냥 아름다울 뿐입니다. 뭐라고 표현할 수 없을 정도로 파란 하늘에 이 에메랄드빛 그 빙하가 지금 해양에서 녹아내리고 있는 장면이 무슨 수식어가 필요하겠습니까? 그 자체로 그냥 아름답고 느낄 뿐입니다.
The higher I climb the glacier, the steeper the slope gets. It's difficult, but the more I climb, the more I wonder what is on the other side. I feel like an explorer. At last, the Matanuska Glacier reveals itself. The snow and ice create a new scene. What words can I use to describe this scene that has formed over thousands of years? I decide to walk another hour in order to climb to a higher area.
Make some steps for you.
Well,
On the way, I meet a brave woman on the glacier without any safety equipment. Our guide, Mike, helps her down as he offers her a pair of emergency microspikes. What's interesting is, her boyfriend is too absorbed in taking photos to help his girlfriend climb down. We don't forget to celebrate as she reached the bottom safely.
We're getting married in October.
yep.
Wow! Congratulations!
Thank you.
야, 10월에 결혼하신대요?
This is a great place. Awesome, man. You feel like you're on top of the world.
Feeling
Nothing
really
like
good.
Don't quite compare to the Colorado mountains.
Yeah.
After walking for 30 more minutes, what Mother Nature has transformed over eternity lies before my eyes. In a time that cannot be fathomed by humans, the sun creates and completes lines on this mass of ice. I follow the ridge to the summit.
바로 제 아래에는 거대한 빙하가 수만 년 동안 기다려온 빙하가 제 발 아래 있습니다. 누구나 이 자리에 와도 감동할 것이고 누구나 이 자리에 와도 행복하지 않을까 싶습니다. 저는 오늘 이 아름다운 날과 이 행복한 순간에 이곳에 서 있다는 것 자체만으로도 감동하지 않을 수가 없네요.
Perhaps for humans, who barely live to be 100 years old, it is impossible to understand the immense length of time and the greatness of nature. I am struck with humility, standing before this greatness of nature. Now it's time to climb down. The ice becomes more slippery in the afternoon, making it more difficult to climb down. I envy our guide, Mike, who lives embracing Mother Nature.
My dream is being on the glacier every day. This is my dream job. I get to go out on the glacier every day, show people around, talk about the cool features. And yeah, I mean, being in Alaska, it's a dream in itself. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Just as a man's life seems more wonderful when he embraces his years in life, nature also seems to create beauty and depth through time. Before considering the scale of nature, I realized that I must consider its depth. Also, little by little, I realized why people call Alaska the destination of dreams. I wrap up the day at lodgings near Matanuska. Bells that ring softly sound like a welcoming song. Quieter compared to other places. This mountain cabin is more charming than it looks.
Okay, thank you very much. 원주민 인형이 여기 이렇게 있네요.
Different from hotels, it is easier to get a closer look at the lives of the people here at the mountain cabin. Today's dinner is potato and eggs and a sandwich.
Bacon.
The hand movements of the owner preparing the food seem quite delicate.
There's the coal.
Yeah. Is it from Alaska?
Yep, from Healy Coal Mine.
아, 힐리. 알라스카산 석탄입니다.
Get a shovel.
Coal is used for both heating and hot water here. It would be difficult for lazy people to live here.
This is the basement.
Let me see.
The owner leads me to his secret hideout.
Our shop, you know, we need tools and
I love this room. I want to stay here. Homes and every.
yep, got it.
Surprisingly, there are all kinds of equipment here. During the snowy winter, there's no one to call if something breaks, so he has to fix everything himself with the tools he has.
What for? The knives?
Pink ribbons tied here and there catch my eye.
We have another things.
Dirt room, just a dirt room.
Hey, what is this?
Flag, because I always hit my head.
Is it flag for your hand?
So I see that and duck. As I got here, I cut 3 foot. Ow, ow, ow. Peacefulness, not a lot of people. You gotta do stuff yourself, makes you not want to be lazy because you gotta be busy.
자유롭고 본인만 열심히 하면
to do
행복하게
everything.
살 수 있기 때문에 알라스카의 생활이 행복하다고 하네요.
See, there is the.
I leave Matanuska behind me and head for Seward to see the ocean glaciers. Seward is a port city located not too far from Anchorage. It is also the departure point of the submarine headed to Kenai Fjords National Park. Many people come here to see the various ocean glaciers that continue from Harding Icefield. As soon as the boat leaves the dock, pleasant faces stick their heads out. Sea otters look very similar to regular otters. They show up their specialty backstroke as they see the submarine off into the sea. 60% of Kenai Fjords National Park is covered in snow and ice. In addition, it is a place where you can see various sea creatures that only live in Alaska. Humpback whales are said to be the most popular among them. The highlight of whale watching is getting a glimpse of the tail as they disappear into the ocean.
Okay, here's the arch, here's the arch.
Sorry.
There it is, the money shot. Oh!
It is very rare to see the tail of a humpback as it splashes into the water.
This is Alaska, and we're right in here. This is the Gulf, and we get a very warm ocean current that comes off the southern coast of Japan. It kind of comes up and goes this way, and that's what keeps it very warm. Also helps to bring the food. Many areas throughout this area have what are called upwellings, and because of those upwellings, you get all sorts of really cool mixing zones, lots of fish that show up. That's why we get a lot of really great wildlife. That's why the whales come here.
Yeah, right.
Because of all the upwelling zones that we have.
The great humpback whales that measure up to 15 meters long are said to populate here in Alaska for its abundance in shrimp and other small fish. After an hour on the boat, far away at the foot of the mountain, the ocean glacier appears. The glacier must have become a fossil as it fell into the ocean. The Harding Glacier is different from the glaciers on land. The reason why people come to see Alaska's ocean glaciers in the summer is because they anticipate this scene. The roar of the glacier collapsing is said to be so loud that it can be heard miles away.
Gulf of Alaska, all the precipitation that comes, it hits the mountains, and because the mountains are around 6,000 feet, it comes as snow instead of rain. So down here at sea level, we get lots of rain. Up on the Harding ice field, we get, on average, 200 inches of snow a year.
There are up to 10,000 known glacial regions in Alaska. If you could sum up the areas of these regions, it measures up to half of Korea. It is not hard to imagine why it's called the Land of Glaciers. Some ocean glaciers are deeply rooted in the deep waters. The largest ice field on Earth is the North Pole. However, Alaska's ice fields are mostly on top of mountains. I want to see the massive ice field from the sky. I'm on my way to the starting point of this ocean glacier. As its name implies, Godwin Glacier's name means God wins. The peak of the mountain consists of an ice field that has not melted in over 20,000 years. The image of the ice field from the sky looks like the beginnings of creation. I am surprised to discover a group of people living at the edge of this ice field. My traveler's curiosity will not let me just pass it by. The first to greet me are the sled dogs that are barking loudly. This is a place where you can experience dog sledding.
쿠조라는 강아지인데요. Okay, nice to meet you.
During the 3 months of summer when it doesn't snow, visitors can come here to experience dog sledding. This base camp was built for that sole purpose.
위에 좀 견딜 수 있게끔 이렇게 좀 계집을 만들어놨네. 안에가 굉장히 깨끗하네요. 안에가 미지근합니다.
This is a temporary dwelling place for the people who look after the 20-some dogs. From June to August, during the 3 months of summer, this tent is their home. The only items they have are cots and a computer.
Is it okay?
It's a very simple life.
Yeah. Game at night. Yeah, your eyes here. Here's a black, here's a white.
From the sun.
Glasses.
Yep, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, glasses 10.
Quite cute.
Yep.
They can't help but get tan spending the whole day out in the sun. The young men feed the dogs and check their health. Suddenly, a young man races through the snowy field. It's to pack down the snow on the glacier for the sleds to move smoothly. All equipment and food supplies are delivered by helicopter, since they live at an altitude of 3,000 meters here. The helicopter pilot offers me a business card.
Somebody give you?
No, it's mine.
This is yours?
Yeah. In 태양군.
태양군.
Yeah.
한국에 있는 대학교에서 직접 그 헬리콥터 조종사 그 교수를 일했다고. 괜찮아요?
I like samgyeopsal very much. Sokogi and my dweji kogi, my takkogi. 맥주 2잔 주세요.
맥주 2잔 주세요. 막걸리 한 잔 주세요.
소주 한 병 주세요.
소주 한 병.
And say 여기요 아가씨.
Nice meeting you
Nice
again.
meeting you.
Okay.
What a small world.
It's a beautiful place to fly, and I enjoy meeting all the different people around here. And flying on the glacier is such a unique experience. I'm very fortunate to not only fly helicopters, but fly in such a great place, so yeah.
As long as I'm here, I might as well try dog sledding.
Where is the brake?
So this right here is the spoiler. So this right here, there's our pad. It's called a drag. So we use that.
So you drive from here?
Yep, so you drive from the middle. That's for like going across the lake, it catches the ice. And then this metal bar here and here,
this one also?
That's the brake.
Okay.
So we use that to stop the dogs.
Like this is brake. 마지막에 이제 개들이 워낙에 힘차게 달리다가 세워야 될 때요. 이 브레이크를 잡고 더 안 잡힐 때 모든 개들이 정지할 수 있도록 하는 마지막 그 앵커라고 합니다.
Dogs have the power to pull 10 times their weight. At last, I speed across Alaska's ice field.
기분 좋습니다.
Dog sleds were the sole means of transportation through Alaska's wilderness during a time when there were no trains or cars. Every year in Alaska, there is a dogsled contest that covers a distance of over 1,600 kilometers. It runs for 30 days. After running at full speed for 30 minutes, the dogs roll in the snow as soon as we arrive at camp. It's to cool down their bodies. Their bodies must be really hot to roll around in the snow. And now it's time to say goodbye. Although it was a short meeting, it was a time of learning another side of Alaska. The young men will return to their homes in September. This glacier is Exit Glacier, a glacier that fell off from Harding Glacier and flowed towards land, not the ocean. This is today's last stop. Due to safety reasons, I can't go inside to where there's a stream created by water flowing from the mountain.
빙하가 계속 후퇴하고 있는 모습을 좀 설명해주고 있는데요. 지구 온난화로 예전에는 이쪽 바로 앞에서 절벽 같은 빙하를 봤다 그러는데요. 지금은 저 멀리 있어서 좀 더 가까이 볼 수 없는 것은 아쉽지만 빙하가 계속 후퇴하고 있는 모습을 직접 확인합니다.
Every year, 460 million tons of Alaska's glaciers disappear. And in the past 8 years, the sea level has risen 1.25 meters. Among experts, it is predicted Alaska's glaciers will melt by the end of this century. How long will we be able to see this scenery?
인간에 의해서 이런 자연의 어떤 거대한 실체들이 조금씩 사라지고 망가지고 무너지는 모습, 정말 안타까운 마음이죠.
Somewhere in the future, when we come back here, how will nature greet us? No living things in the world are at a standstill. All life that breathes lives in the world at their own pace and at their own time. Nature's time is flowing at a speed that can no longer be predicted. This is why the view at this moment is most precious.